This week on the Minding Your Business podcast, from flow state to focus, content strategy, visibility, and the future of AI for entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Minding Your Business podcast. I'm CJ Jolliff with the infamous
Aaron Jarrels. I'll tell you, every time we do the podcast, I always think today's the day where I will have nothing to talk about. I will have absolutely nothing. Like, this is the day I'm going to be found out, I struggle with that imposter syndrome all the time, where I'm like, oh, he's not a real podcast host. Among many other things I think I'm faking it at. Yeah. But I'll tell you today, before we got on, you asked me, it's seconds ago, right? And I'm still laughing about it. Do I need to take a break, like a pee break or whatever? And I recognized I'm getting to the stage in my life where I have to start asking myself and then think about it if I'm hungry or thirsty or have to go to the bathroom or tired or need to stand up and stretch or whatever. Because I just do whatever it is I'm doing. And then I recognize after the fact, like, oh man, I should have whatever. But I don't recognize the need in the moment.
Right.
And I don't know if that's an age thing. I don't know if that's I don't know what it is, but my wife laughs because she's like, you're not drinking near enough water. And I go, well, I drink every time I'm thirsty. She's like, how often is that? And I go, I don't know, once every 3 days. I mean, I do obviously swallow a splash of water to take my medication in the morning, or when I drink coffee or an energy drink or whatever. But I must admit, I don't think I ever pick up an energy drink or a coffee or a tea, because I drink a lot of tea too, because I'm thirsty. It's because, like, I think to myself, oh, I should probably keep some fluid on my throat because I talk a lot. And if I talk too much, then it starts to get scratchy and then it's a whole problem. So yeah, I don't know. Anyway, sorry. It's one of those rabbit holes that I swore I was going to be done going down, but here we are.
What's funny is that, I asked that because it's like, we typically, if we're going in for an hour of talking, it's kind of like, you might want to just, be prepped.
Right.
I'll get a little shaky,
here, doing the pee-pee dance. Yeah,
exactly.
I got it.
But it's funny you say that, because when I get into that flow state of work, I will I have to, at times I have to like set an alarm clock, like a reminder or a timer, like, you should eat in 3 hours, that kind of thing. Because I will get to the point where what actually gets me up and gets me moving is Bear. Bear will jump up on the side of my chair and be like, I'm like, oh, I need to pee too. Or I should probably get food. Chris Pizar, like, we have marathon meetings on Mondays. We basically have a half day working meeting where we're on Zoom and we're just like this, right? But we're going through, he's working on something, I'm working on something. Sometimes we're working on it together, but it's like being in the office together.
Yeah. Gotcha.
And he'll make fun of me because literally every time I get up, it's like I come back with a beverage and something to drink, or something to drink, something to eat and something to drink. And it's like, I knew you're going to have a, protein bar, or I knew you're going to have a shake. I knew you're going to have a coffee, all the things. But it's like, well, yeah, because I haven't moved in 2 hours, like I need to like, if I don't do it now, I won't do it, so.
Man. Yeah. Thursday, yesterday, and then even the week before that, on Thursday is my day where I do my notes. I get all caught up with everything. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, it's 11 in the morning. I'll work on something and then I'll take a lunch like 12:30 or so. And then I'll work some more and get stuff done. And I was working on the course.
Yeah.
The one we've talked about a bunch of times. So I'm working on the course. I look and I'm like, okay, I got plenty of time. I'll take a break and I'll eat. So I'm working away and I'm uploading and I'm creating and I'm making the scripts for the videos and what I'm going to say in each of the videos for each of the lessons. And I don't get near as far as I want. And I'm thinking, I've been working like an hour. And I get a text from my wife. Hey, no worries. Just what time are you coming home? And I'm like, it's way too early it's 5:30. I lost 6.5 hours.
Yep.
And I never got up. I didn't get up from where I was just sitting at the desk. It just was gone. And I'm like, 6.5 hours, a long time.
You better have a comfortable chair.
Oh yeah, it's all right. This chair's okay. Uh, I forget that I'm sitting in it. Like I get so swept up and caught up in what I'm doing,
Yeah.
I forget everything. Like I don't know. I don't want to say I have that dissociation, but I forget that I'm me and I'm sitting here. I'm just the project or process that I'm working on, and that's
Right.
it.
Right.
So
Again, it's that like
yeah.
that flow state when time just kind of disappears and you're just completely focused. But I
I
mean,
made some great progress. Oh man, I'm
yeah,
excited. But
yeah,
I'm seriously at this point, I'm about two-thirds the way through one of
okay,
the two halves that I need to get done. And so it's like, I know I still have a lot more to do, which I'm not beating myself up for. I'm giving myself the entire year to get it done,
mhm,
which I think is going to take me about 2 months, 2 more months to get it done, and then start beta testing, run a few samples, and then work out the bugs, which will take me 6 months. And
right,
then I'll have a couple of months to market and really get going after that. So that's the hope. I'm 2 months in. Or a month and a half. Yeah, about a month and a half in this year. I think I still have another two and a half months
okay,
before I'm running my first. That second 2 weeks, I think I'll be picking up. I got a bunch of places around here, but I'm gonna have to start doing some speaking before that. And I think I can speak at the Chamber of Commerce. They keep contacting me like, hey, you got anything you want to talk about? Because I hit them up once and now I'm on their email list.
sure,
Um, and there's a bunch of different Chamber of Commerces around here. I don't know, there's Omaha, but they're like 6 different small cities that are all interconnected here.
right,
So anyway, so I'll try that and see how that goes. And then I don't know. We probably should talk about some other professional networking groups,
hmm,
and I don't know which ones or how to approach them. So I'll have to talk to you about that, maybe off the air. And
sure,
then,
sure,
so anyway, that's where I'm at. That catches you up
yeah,
on what I'm doing. I had a question though because I did. Um, you mentioned it earlier, so I'm going to act like I saw it. But I got an email talking about roast of the week and
yes,
some changes that are happening in March.
yep.
And
So,
so, what is that exactly about?
so Christian's actually been taking a business class,
Okay.
part of his senior year in high school, and um, it's forced him to kind of like, you know, take some looks and figure out his, um, refigure out, take a
Mhm.
look at his, profit per bag and all of the things. And so with is all so subtle, right? But with the rising cost of shipping and then, rising cost of what it takes to get the beans, you know,
Sure.
uh, you know, even a 15% tariff that eats into profits,
Ah,
and so all of the things we got kind of getting squeezed on both ends.
sure.
And so, um, we basically had to adjust the retail price.
Okay.
Um, but the majority of the revenue that comes in on roast of the week is from subscriptions. And
Okay.
the way it has worked is we ship out weekly. Some
Mhm.
people only get coffee every 2 or 3 weeks, but we ship out weekly. So, some
Okay.
people get it every week, as much as 16 ounces every week, and as little as 8 ounces once a month. Right. So
Okay.
the idea is that every week we're roasting a different origin. And
Mhm.
so, what's changing is we can't carry the cost of the shipping anymore.
Okay.
Um, and so to be fair to our customers, we're basically moving towards a monthly shipping, a monthly like box that is a whole tasting experience in itself. So instead of, getting a different bag of coffee every week, you're getting it once a month and you have four
Okay.
bags. So it could be
Okay.
anywhere from 4-ounce bags, 4-ounce bags to 4 16-ounce bags, so 4 pounds of coffee, but every bag is different. So you always, when you get your shipment in, you're getting that experience of being able to try different coffees. So you could do it in parallel where you tasted the Guatemala versus the Honduras, and each thing is, except for we do have special blends, but let's say 80% is single origin. What we might do, and this is what kind of allows us to do this, we might do it where um, 3 bags are single origin and 1 is a blend. Something
Yeah,
along those.
of the 3, and then you
Yeah.
mix it in just the way that makes it
Yeah. So
yeah,
what
it pulls the
it
best
does
features of each one.
instead of basically like well, for like, someone that is on the like 16 ounce every week
Mhm.
shipment, it's actually going to end up saving them a couple dollars. So I think that what I might have worked out to be around $92 a month
Okay,
for, a 16-ounce bag every week. Now
okay,
it's gonna be $80 a month plus shipping.
okay,
So before the shipping was included, now it's 80, but they have to pay for shipping. So it's
okay,
probably gonna be 88 to $89.
okay,
From here to California is like 950.
okay.
And in poly bag, it's coming in a box. So we're trying to elevate the experience all across the board. Um, for someone that's only getting 8 ounces once a month, unfortunately, they're probably gonna have to either spend more or, go somewhere else, because
Yeah.
that it wasn't we just weren't making any money off of it. So he looked at all that stuff and we had a conversation. We changed it. Um, had to completely reinvent the subscription on the website, like how it was handled and everything.
Sure.
And so, but it's, I mean, it's like how do you make this thing keep the DNA of what roast of the week is,
Uh-huh.
but better serve the customer while keeping your doors open? Because it got to the point where on some orders we were only making $1 a bag, which is not
Sure.
sustainable.
Yeah.
Um, and
Yeah, yeah.
so it's really good. And he took the lead on that stuff. He just went through because he had to and
Sure.
came up with his 60-second pitch. And
Okay.
he did a great job. He had to record it, and we then had a conversation of like, okay, do you see this? Like, look at yourself on this recording. It's you speaking about your coffee company. Do you see the value in this? And he got to bring his personality to it. And it wasn't me helping him. I mean,
Coaching,
I
you're
was
right.
there, right? And he
Sure.
did it. And I'm like, no one's gonna care if I get on and post about Ghost of the Week and say this and that and all these things. But it is interesting to see a 17-year-old, boy, young man, sorry, Christian, uh, talking about his coffee company as a young entrepreneur,
Mhm.
and going through, and we were just talking like, here are the types of videos you could make. You could go to, where we have it roasted. We could do a tour and show like this, the art, that part, what it means, and do a little education, but it's you doing it, not me doing it. And that's kind of been the challenge along the way because
Sure.
he's a teenage boy, man. Like,
Uh-huh.
it's not that he doesn't have presence and he's not entertaining. He is, but there's a certain level of like you have to grow into confidence, you
Uh-huh.
know? And he's getting there. So we'll see what he does. But it's exciting. So I mean, even like this actually talking about social media, right? This
Mhm.
goes into a whole other thing that we could talk about. I'd like to talk about social media, like content pillars and that kind of stuff. Um,
Okay.
but also I don't want to move us on if you're not ready to move on.
Well, I yes and no. I'll tell you. When you mentioned like you're trying to raise the bar of what shows up at the house, you're
Right.
changing the experience of what it is. And I'll tell you that when I first started buying the coffee from you guys,
Yeah.
when you first came out with the idea and you were going to do it, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I support you, I support you. But my God, the coffee was really good.
Okay.
And then I'm like, okay, now what do I do with really good coffee? And it turned from a drip coffee maker that I had. And then I tested a French press and I tested a pour over and I tested an AeroPress and I tested
Yeah.
um, the little one that boils in the percolator. And I
Yeah.
did like we've done just about every single way you could make coffee. And now we're even bought an espresso machine and making
Right.
espresso and cold brew. Man, I'll tell you what, if you're not making cold brew concentrate and it's expensive, I'm not gonna sit
It's
here and
not
say it
cheap.
isn't.
Yeah.
Like I have to use a whole bag in
Yeah.
the little thing that I make, and it makes so little concentrate, it'll fit in a jar.
Yeah.
But it
Uh,
seriously takes like 2 tablespoons, and then I fill the rest up with hot water from a teapot, and bam. I mean, it is the most smooth. Like if you're used to drinking just regular coffee, black coffee, this is black coffee on steroids. Like it is so smooth, no acidity. It doesn't burn.
Right.
You don't need creamer. Like I think he needs to have recipes
I
and
do too.
ideas for what to
Yeah.
do with the coffee because this isn't Folgers. This isn't U-Ben. This isn't take a scoop, put it in the machine and turn it on and hopefully it looks black.
Right.
This isn't that. It's supposed to be amber. It's supposed to have richness. It's supposed to have depth. It's supposed to like give you the notes that
Yeah.
it says on the bag. You actually taste those when you make it right. So
Right.
I think put a card or a something in there or a link to video. Make some videos of him doing stuff. Take hey, if you're just making drip coffee, at the end of the day, just put those in ice cubes and then use those in your cold coffee the next day. And it's like, oh, dude, why am I not doing that? Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I know to do that, but I don't remember to do that. I need it at the top of mind, and I need to see somebody doing it. And let's be honest, you got a 17-year-old entrepreneur who's going to be talking to yes, old farts like me, but to young kids who are like, dude, do you know? Like this blows me away. The post that came out not too long ago, there was like a whole news thing where it's like the young kids today are realizing you can do a coffee shop at home. You can invite your friends over and make coffee at home and
Make coffee at
save a
home.
bundle. And I'm like, what are you
Yeah.
talking about? That's called inviting your friends over. What the heck? Like it didn't, but it's something completely different because we're talking about a generation who meet up with their friends online
Yeah.
or at a place, like never at home. You're not
Right.
coming home and doing it yourself.
Right.
So anything that's DIY, you do it yourself, you blow all your friends' minds. Like they're like,
Yeah.
holy crap, what? Like, so I think introducing a little bit more of that would be really, really helpful and be exciting. It'd be something I would watch. Like, because there's
Yeah.
not a lot of crap I watch.
Well, and I think that's it. And there's also the entrepreneur's journey, right?
Mhm.
Where if he's documenting some like behind the scenes stuff and
Oh, I would love to see him
right?
document his stuff. If he makes a commercial, I would like to see like he makes a little ad with a little video doing an explainer. Cool. That there should be at least 5 videos of him making that video
Right.
of
Right.
him doing outtakes or him talking in between going, I don't know if I should be more this or see that or do whatever. Like that's the thing. Because there's going to be for every him, there's 500 wannabe hymns
Right.
who go, I do it, but I still have doubts. And obviously he's very confident on camera. But
Right.
that's the confidence that came after the 20th take.
Yes. Exactly.
And
Exactly.
so I think too often social media projects the polished version and not the real. And so I'd
Right.
like to see more of the real behind the scenes, like the actual
Yeah.
documenting of the whole
And the what we're seeing is that authenticity. Well, okay, let me back up. On social media, what's more in vogue is what looks like
thing. Uh-huh.
lower production value.
Right.
It's not that it is lower production value.
Right.
It just needs to look like it's natural and effortless, right?
Yes.
But
It
it's
actually takes a lot of effort to make it look effortless.
that's what I was going to say.
Um,
Yeah.
and so,
But
yeah,
it's
for
because
sure.
everyone
But
is
that
really
comes with
hungry for
time.
transparency. They want people to be authentic, right? And so that's one of the reasons. Because if you put out a piece, you could be authentically you, but if it looks overproduced, people think it's fake. It looks fake.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't belong on Instagram. It doesn't belong on TikTok. It needs to look like you just sat down in your car and you pulled up your phone and you started talking to it. Um,
Right.
but yeah, like it kind of segueing in like social media, like content pillars, right? So I was having a
Right.
conversation this morning with a business owner, and we are just talking about their transition. They're going from a model where they had employees
Okay.
to now they've moved to subcontractors, and they had to because that employee model no longer worked for their type of business. Which is interesting because it's for a long time it kind of went the other way, where you went
Okay.
from subcontractor to employee. That was a part of growing up in business. Was once your business got to the certain size, then you hired employees and all that stuff. But you could start out
Right.
as subcontractors. But they've been in business for 28 years, something like that.
Okay.
And so they did that, and then because of like the rising just like employee cost,
Yes.
insurance and all the other little things, but also minimum wage jumped here.
Right.
COVID, it's jumped 50%, which is a
Uh-huh.
that's a big jump if you think about
Yes.
it. So, and then also materials cost, inflation and all the things, they were just getting squeezed. And so they went with a different model. And what's working out better is that it's actually ends up being more beneficial for the harder working
Yeah.
subcontractors because they're going to take home more
Right.
than they
They're
would have
being
as
rewarded for
employees.
their efforts now, not
Yeah,
just
it doesn't,
their hours.
and it also weeds out the people that were just kind of showing up.
Uh-huh.
And so, anyway, we were talking about how do you, well, if you don't put out your messaging, if you don't identify what your message is, who you are, and how you speak about your brand, if you don't take hold of that conversation, someone else will. And so you have to first
Okay.
figure out who you identify, how you speak about your brand, brand
Okay.
identity, what words, what tone. Um,
Sure.
and a lot of that starts with mission statement. We've talked about it before. It's straight out of the Business Made Simple book by uh, Donald Miller. I don't know why I'm spacing. Anyway, it's we do X because of Y, or we do X for Y because of Z. So
Right.
this is what we do for our target market, the people we serve, because of a compelling reason. And
We're doing it.
like
Right.
like for the podcast, our mission statement is we will reach an average of 5,000 listeners per episode by the end of 2026
Right.
because hardworking business owners, small business owners, deserve to keep chasing their dreams, to be inspired to keep chasing those dreams, and to not
Right.
give up. That was maybe not the perfect delivery of it, but I don't have to go look
Right.
at it. I don't have to like
Right.
pull up the file and say, what is it? Or look at the website and say, what is it?
Yeah,
It's
what are we doing this for?
the
Yeah,
DNA
exactly.
is in my head. Like the general like idea is in my head and I can speak about it without having to pull up um, we exist
Without having to
to
print it. Yes. And
yeah,
then be like, "Oh, let
exactly.
me read you my mission
Right.
statement." Yes.
So it starts there. It's starting with like, how do we speak about our business, right? What are the words
Okay.
we're using to convey the idea to try to control the conversation? Then putting them out there. And I'll be the first one to tell you that like having social media content versus not is more important than ever. And I'm not saying that because I own a social media management company. I say it because it's SEO juice now. It didn't used to be. But now even a not so good post is still something that helps elevate your SEO rank when people are looking for you or looking for what you provide.
Ah,
So every
okay.
post counts. Um,
Okay.
and so beyond that, so just post, right? But beyond that, it can be overwhelming. It's so hard when you're in the business to think of like, oh, what do we post? Oh, but identify like 2 to 4 content pillars.
Okay.
Think of it like these are the things that hold up the business. So for let's say roast of the week, it could be uh, content pillar could be the origin. So
Okay.
Costa Rica coffee is known for a citrusy flavor. It's grown. Here's why. It's grown at elevations between here and there. This is what the bean looks like. It tends to be this color, this shape, blah, blah, blah. Right. And just
Uh-huh.
30 seconds of information on that coffee. So it's an educational pillar.
Yeah. And honestly,
And then
I would watch that because seriously,
right.
just since you started sending the bean and you mentioned, oh, these are a smaller bean, so it's a little bit heavier. It's going to change the amount that goes into the espresso thing when you
Right.
make. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Dude, it's seriously, there are different shape beans, different tone, there's like such a varied,
Yes.
wide range of what they look like. It is
Right.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. So like another
So,
one might be Tanzania peaberry. Tanzania
uh-huh.
peaberry is known
So tiny.
so because it's so small. It's a very unique bean and it's round. It's not as oval bean shaped. It's looks like a little pea. And so that's why it's called peaberry. Because of that, it's a more dense bean. And if you're using a grinder, you actually probably won't grind it quite as finely for whatever reason. Especially if you're using an espresso machine, you're going to find that it packs too tightly because it's just a more dense bean. And so, like, you could that could be one content pillar, like education. Another could be behind the scenes, like we talked
Uh-huh.
about, right? Showing the
Yeah.
process of, another could be, um, it could be on the like recipes or drinks, like how to make cold brew at home. Um,
Right.
you know, take this bag of coffee, grind it up like you would for a French press, a really big, grind size, and then put it in a mason jar, a half-gallon mason jar. Put cold water in it and let it
Put it in the
sit
fridge.
for 18 hours.
Yeah.
And then take it out, filter out the messiest part, and the worst part of it is filtering out the coffee, the liquid from the grounds. But here's the best way we found to do it,
Uh-huh.
and then it makes a like 3 times concentrate, cold brew, and just showing that, and it could be edited or it could not, depends on what platform it's for.
Right.
Um, but having those content pillars, and then the beautiful part about it is people have a short memory. And if your
Mhm.
social media presence is growing, you're always finding new people. So this
Right.
is just a little hack to get someone started, right? Um, is identify those, let's say, 3 different types of videos, 3 different pillars that would be your content. And then so that let's say that's 3 posts a week. And
Okay.
then go for 13 weeks, a quarter. So try to come up with basically 39 separate pieces of content. They could be photos, videos, whatever, mix and match.
Okay.
And then next quarter, repeat. You literally could just take the same things. I'm not saying that this you should do this, but you could just to get started, and you could repost those same things because people aren't really going to remember. And if they found value in it the first time, they may still find it the second time, or again, likely you're going to have new followers and they haven't seen it before. Um, the other thing would be even better is then if you could just alter it slightly. So we get to Costa Rica, educational video about Costa Rica, use
Right.
some of the same stuff, but change it a little bit. And so then you just have a very easy um, rhythm to get in. And then, of course, if you don't want to do it, hire Looky Social and we'll take care of it for you. But yeah, I mean, I
Sure.
think that it, how do what is the saying? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, So it's breaking it down into a system that works for you. And so, yeah,
Right.
that was a complete. I blacked out. I don't know what I said. I kind of like it just
Yeah.
flowed. So
It
you
flowed. It was a natural tie-in. So I think we started with just talking about coffee, then it ended up into coaching, going through the thing and how those people, and then it went into going into social media, and then it ended up going, touching on Looky. The reason I think it does that is because you're not doing one specific business.
no,
You have multiple businesses that all touch on all 4 legs of the table that you're
yeah,
building.
yeah,
And so it makes sense that all of those things are structural and necessary. You need a presence online,
yeah,
whether that's social media, website, whatever. So you have a website business and you have the social media thing. And then it's like, yeah, okay. So then we also need to focus on um, helping out other entrepreneurs. So you're helping out your son, you're helping out doing the coaching, doing the business builder, doing like helping out and making things happen, which is
yeah,
story branding and all of the things that are fundamental to describing the table. Because if you don't describe it, no one knows it's there.
yeah. Right, right.
So,
And me, man. I have been the guy in the past that just wanted to kind of be a hermit, and
uh-huh,
just be left alone. Like I want to be in the behind the scenes and just in the shadows and just kind of thing, be left alone. And unfortunately, I think that one, yeah, I can't do that anymore. I have a strong calling that's preventing me from doing that. Uh,
yeah,
how do you do that and also help people, you know, improve their lives through their business? Like you can't hide in the shadows and be influential. It doesn't
right,
work.
right.
Um, but
Yeah, I know your whole life you've always wanted to be like the spotlight shining on someone else, helping someone else succeed and helping someone else. But really, you have to be people have to be aware that you're there to spotlight them.
that's a good
Otherwise,
point. Yeah.
they'll never flag you down and have you point. So, that
The
being
light
said,
in the spotlight has to be bright enough to be seen first, and then
yeah,
you focus it and
then
shine
you
it on
beam
someone
it
else.
in to direct attention.
Yeah.
Um, that kind of brings me back around. So I'm gonna. I feel like I probably should sort of mention this because anybody that's been listening to us for any length of time, knows some of the some of the struggles. Let's put it that way, that I go through on
Sure.
a daily, weekly, minutely basis. Right.
Yeah. Other than
Staying
talking to me?
focused, doing all of the things, and um, recently my life's journey, I suppose, is trying to stay focused. I've been staying in lane.
Yeah.
And the second major thing I struggle with is codependency. Like, I never want to do anything by myself. Like, if
Oh,
I start to do something, I'm like, okay, who am I going to get?
huh.
And one of the things that I found, especially while working on this most recent idea, which is the break the loop, and then how do I systemize that and get it out there?
Right.
And I keep thinking, like, who do I bring in on this idea? Like, who do I get? And it's strange because instead of my brain trying to sugarcoat and rosy lenses, all of these different people where I would normally go, well, okay, I could see where that might be a benefit. Now I go, well, that's a problem. They're a problem. They'd be a problem. That would be a problem. Like, they're great people, but they would get me
Right.
distracted, or I would get sidetracked, or I would get, maybe they would say something that would be off tune, off color, off topic, off whatever. And so I'm like, you know what? There isn't anybody that I can bring on board to help me with my goals more importantly than myself.
Right.
And I don't mean to be arrogant. I'm not trying to
No,
be like, but
it's
I
your
have
vision.
to fully buy in myself, so much so that I hold myself accountable for doing what I need to do when I need to do it,
Yeah.
and not allowing myself to get sidetracked, not allowing myself to run down rabbit holes, not allowing, like, putting a pin in it, pulling myself back, putting in a pin, pull myself back. So I don't try and forget something. I don't try and ignore it. I simply write it on a list, put a pin in it, and I say, I'll come back to that. I'll research that later. I still
Yeah.
want to know that thing, that information, whatever it is. And man, alive, I get caught up so much. So for anybody that doesn't know, uh, uh, my brother-in-law and I have been messing around with the Tim and Tina podcast, right?
Yeah.
And so we were doing the TV psychology stuff, and we were having some fun with that with different TV shows. And then I got bored, obviously, you know how I do.
I
And I
do.
was like, you know what? Really interests me is whatever is on my mind at the moment. So instead of me running down a rabbit hole, I now plop Tim and Tina on it. I have them make a podcast about it, do all the research, make a podcast on it. And then I upload that to the Spotify. And then my brother-in-law gets to listen to it. My other brother-in-law gets to listen to it. I get to listen to it. My wife gets to find out where my brain is in any particular given week. And it is so random. It's like how to start a bank, how to start a backyard garden, the ins and outs of beekeeping in an urban setting.
I
Like,
saw that
what
one
about
pop up.
why farmers market is not the best place to sell mushrooms? Like,
Okay.
just whatever it crosses my mind, I'm like, you know what? And then I have them jump down the rabbit hole. It takes me 2 minutes to prompt and then pull the podcast, upload it, and then I can listen to it on my drive to and from work. So I
Yeah.
still get that outlet of learning something new and getting to and be like, well, that's super interesting. Okay, okay. But I try and have them give me the brutal truth.
Right.
Don't sugarcoat it. Don't make beekeeping and selling honey sound so romantic that I'm like, I have to get some hives, because I would do it. I'd run out
Yeah.
and buy some hives, and then so instead
Like,
I have
hang on,
them give me the
hang on.
brutal truth.
I can see you in a beekeeper's uniform riding your Segway, like going and tending the beehives in your Segway. I don't know why, but you're saying this,
Uh-huh.
and this is the image that pops into my head. I apologize. Please continue.
Yes. So anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm struggling with the idea to keep myself on task,
Mm,
not allow myself to go down a rabbit hole, and then not be, if I'm going to be codependent, I'm going to be codependent on myself. So interdependence. I don't know what that's called.
well, like,
I probably
first, I
should,
think
but
you should give yourself some grace, because what I understand, like, being interested in something new, right? And
mm,
you do a deep dive and you learn and you learn and learn, and you're like, and then it gets boring and you're like, okay, fine. That is, you can let it be a negative trait, but I think it's just a symptom of hungry for information, being hungry for knowledge, or even just like um, wanting a full life. I mean, I guess it depends on how you look at it, but I don't think it is. I don't think it's a negative thing. And I think what you've done is you've now hacked your own mind, your own
Mhm.
patterns, right? Your patterns of
Right.
action, where it's like now you still get to like get the reward of the information, but not lose the time that it would normally have taken,
Because of
or the
technology,
energy.
'cause technology's caught up, and,
Yeah.
there's so I'll give you another example of another one that, it's keeping me I'm staying it and I'm hacking it, and that is wood carving. Um, I know, right? Like, why am I interested in that?
It's called
But we had
healing.
found this really awesome channel, but the guy doesn't make very many videos. He puts out
Mm,
like a video every 6, 8 weeks, right?
sure.
But it's and he calls it calm carving. Basically, it's just this guy and he's over in Scandinavia or something, and he's like, today I'm gonna be, and he talks real slow, and he's like, today I'm gonna carve like this bowl. And so anyway, I think I'm gonna make it out of this piece of wood. So hang around. And then he like chips it off, and then he uses an axe, and then he does a thing, and he puts it in a vice thing, and then he sharpens his tools, and then so it'll be 45 minutes for him to carve out a little wooden bowl.
Sure.
But it's so relaxing watching it that I'm just like, I know that was 18 hours of carving.
Yeah.
Like, and oh my God, I could do that. But when would I have 18 hours to sit and carve a bowl? Right.
Right.
And so maybe if I'm retired, but when we go out of town, we watch that channel on YouTube on the TV in the hotel room because it's so relaxing. It just
Yeah.
goes on. You don't have to fully pay attention. So we get to relax and whatever. And it's usually my son comes with us when we'll go out of town on some little overnight vacation, for the
Yeah.
weekend thing. And he's like, Papa, are we watching carving? And I'm like, yep, we're gonna watch carving. Let's put it on. And so we'll watch that, and he likes to fall asleep to it. And it's just like it's so nice. But honestly, like I started running down that rabbit hole, being like, man, I gotta get some tools. I need to get this
Right.
stuff. Like I wanted to do it all. And instead, I'm like, why do I want to do it? It's because I enjoy the relaxing feeling I get watching his videos. And because he makes them so infrequently, I'm like, well, then I need to do it.
Right.
And so, anyway, the hack is that I now get to look forward to going on a trip because we go every couple months. So there's usually a new video out.
Yeah.
And he makes a ladle or a whatever it is. He just carves it up and does it. It's really cool. Um, And so I get to hack my brain that way in doing that. So I stretch it, which I'm not,
Mhm.
I like immediacy. I got an
Right.
idea. I'm going to run 100 miles an hour at it. And so I can't now because I'm like, I could put him on. I have access to YouTube 24 hours a day. But I'm like, no, I've made the decision that that's a delayed gratification thing that we
Yeah.
only experience in that setting so that it stays what it is.
Yep.
And so anyway, it's been really interesting.
I know the
Um,
feeling you're talking about though. Like I think I mentioned like wood turning. There's some wood turning channels, and it's the right one because it's like you'll get some that like it has like the soothing talking over it, like
right.
soothing voice talking over it, and others it's just music, and those are kind of the ones I want. And maybe they'll have like a little bit of, we call it
Explanation or
nat
something.
sound,
Yeah.
where it's like you hear a little bit like that, you know,
Yeah.
kind of stuff, and
Right.
it's sped up or it's edited, whatever. But it's not the full on like just have
Right.
micro, because that would drive you crazy. But and literally, I'll start watching one of those channels, and they're turning, some kind of bowl or whatever, lamp or whatever, and I just
Right.
go, and a lot of it has epoxy in it too, and I'm just I'm so like, wow, this is amazing. People do this kind of stuff, and also I just find myself falling asleep, and it will put me to sleep, just like
Uh-huh.
in the most peaceful way. And it's such a weird thing because it's like I want to stay up, I want to stay awake,
To
because I'm
see
watching
it,
it, but
but
then it's just like
yeah.
I'm conked out.
Yes.
Um, yeah. Anyway, so I totally know I know the feeling you're talking about. Um, wow. So we have two choices right now. We are actually at the mark where we could wrap this up and, um, move on and work on the book.
Okay.
Or we could talk a little bit about AI.
Okay, what do you have about with AI? Let's take a couple of
It's
minutes
taken
because I'm always
Skynet
interested
has been
in
launched.
I'm always interested in it, and I find that AI is such a polarizing
Oh, yeah,
topic. I'm amazed that I will be talking to people and not mention AI and and they are it's like their opinion is fact and they're so upset and so bothered and how I can't believe you would do and I'm like, man, when you really understand it, I mean, and I get it, the argument when they first created a tractor, right?
right.
You're not digging the hole, the tractor is. Yeah, but somebody's driving the tractor. Like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
honestly, if I'm digging a hole, I'm using a tractor. Why would I not? Why would I go? I know the tractor exists and I know I have a key, but I'd rather use this shovel and wear
Right,
myself
right,
out while
right.
the person next to me digs a giant hole and I dig a little tiny one
Yeah,
with the same amount of effort. Like it doesn't make any sense.
yeah,
Now I get that if you're like, oh no, I don't even know how to drive the tractor, it just automatically does everything for me and I just take credit for it. Okay, fine. But that's typically not what we're talking about. We're still
right,
talking about someone doing it. And that
right,
I get to AI, it's really difficult because people think AI is actual sentient artificial intelligence. And
right.
as of yet,
Again,
it is still not.
yeah,
It is a language model that predicts the next word and says
right,
it. And it's like,
right.
yeah, but people, I mean, it gives you answers that make sense because it's the next word.
It
Like, oh
reasons.
my
Yeah,
God.
I mean, but again, it's based on logic, right?
Yes.
Based on
And every
all
other word
predictive
that's ever
logic.
been said.
Yes.
So,
So, there was an article that was published on X, a few days ago, and it was basically like, well, here, I can look at it really quickly. Oh, I could look at it until my feed refreshed. Basically, it was talking about like it's what's coming next or what's happening. Oh, something big is happening. That was
okay.
the title of the article, and it was released 3 days ago.
Okay.
As of right now, it has 80 million views.
Okay.
An article on X has 80 million views.
Yeah.
Um, is absolutely nuts. 37,000 reposts, and 109, 105,000 likes, hearts.
Okay.
Um, but basically the gist of it was the person that authored it, he's an entrepreneur in the AI space. And so he runs a company, it's an AI company. And basically in the last few weeks, there's been two updates that were dramatic jumps. One was Claude's Opus 4.6, I think.
Okay.
And the other one was uh, OpenAI's, um, what is it called? Something Codex, um,
Okay.
5.3. So anyway, um, the leaps forward those things those two have made is like not incremental, it's exponential. And
Mhm.
so basically like everyone, is kind of like in this almost cautious,
Mhm.
space of like it's not a matter of if, certain industries or certain jobs are replaced by AI, it's a matter of when. And that timeline is being accelerated quite a bit. Now,
Yeah.
does that mean that if you are a janitor that you're in trouble? No, not yet, because there would also I would have to be robots for that, right? But basically, his the crux of what he was trying to say was, if you work on a computer, if the majority of your at a screen, interacting with a mouse and keyboard, your job is likely in
Jeopardy.
trouble, right? In
Mhm.
jeopardy, and especially if you're entry level. So
Sure.
he was basically pointing out like app development and website development, but specifically app development. It has gotten so good in these last two models that it went from AI making like a lot of mistakes where you
Mhm.
had to really hold its hand and go a step
Mhm.
at a time, test, retest, redo, test again, all the things. And it did speed up the process of development, and it required someone
Who knew?
that knew what they were doing.
Yes.
To now, this latest iteration is almost perfect, and it self tests at each step. It reasons really well. Both
Okay.
of them do. And so his whole point is like, and it's not going to slow down. It's basically, I think it was Claude Opus 4.6 that it was the first release of a model where the model helped write itself. So the previous iteration of it helped write the newest iteration of it. And now it's basically in the next, they're saying 6 months, we'll get to the point where each iteration is pretty much controlled by the previous. And there's less and less human interaction and
Right.
oversight. And so you combine that with like this idea of what we talked about in a couple episodes ago about what then was called Claudebot, and now because
Mhm.
of some or some legal issues, is called OpenClaw. Um, but it is like a local installation on your computer
Right.
or on a VPS of an LLM. Um, but you
Mhm.
combine those things, and now we're looking at a space where it's really really interesting. You know,
Mhm.
and I think I told you I mentioned that I see an industry being developed where you go in and you work with a business to create a custom local LLM for them that knows all their SOPs, has their brand voice, and can run. It's a custom LLP for them. You have trained it for them instead of being trained externally on everyone's information.
Right.
You're in control of you know,
Yes, you create them their ideal employee.
and that's already happening.
Oh
Um,
yeah, I know it is. It is interesting because realistically, if you project out, like not a doomsdayer, but I'm like,
right.
gosh sakes, like if you project out 25 years,
I can't even see that far in the future. That's
what's so
crazy.
funny is people are like, oh my God, in 25 years, like none of us will have jobs. And I'm like, thank God. We're wasting our lives working stupid jobs that don't matter. There's no
Right.
reason for that, especially
Yeah.
not if we can get technology to handle all of that stuff. What it does do, though, is it throws off the billionaires reaping all the money from the poor people.
Right. It's again that
So
K
it,
economy.
so it kills that. And so,
Yeah.
yes, I can see they're not going to let that happen because you have to keep the poor oppressed and you have to
Right.
keep them busy.
The
Right?
revolt.
If you don't keep them busy, and let's say, like the whole stupid argument about, if you didn't work all day and you just had all the food you needed and basically all Maslow's lower
Yeah.
thing, and then everything taken care of, like it would be anarchy. And I'm like, no, it would be Star Trek, you stupid asses. Like everybody would be focused on higher level things, making things better,
Yeah.
not
Well,
making it worse. Like, why would you need to make it worse?
I don't know about
Everything's taken
everyone.
care of.
I think I think free will's a I say this too often. You know, it allows you to make bad decisions just as much as good decisions. And,
Uh-huh.
you know, at the end of the day, if someone is um a a person that is selfish and
That goes back to the whole idea of possessions and greed. If
yeah,
there's no such thing as that, because there is no, everyone's the same, then there's
yeah,
no reason for that.
there's no reason for it, but
There's
that
no
doesn't mean it.
benefit to it because you can't have it.
Oh, I don't know. There's the I'm not arguing. I'm just thinking like I just think at the end of the day, there's always gonna be bad actors, you know?
Sure. What I'm thinking is the trouble is that there's such a strong desire to be a rich and powerful elite billionaire
Right,
that
right.
that's the motivation to keep grinding away and wasting your life being poor.
Yeah. Well, marketing
is
doesn't
is
help because
the
the new thing comes
idea
out
or that
and
false narrative that we've all been fed, like you could do it
yeah,
too. Because look,
right.
there's one example, one time in the millions and millions and millions and billions of people in the United States, one person did it. See, so that could be you. And you're like,
Right,
did they do it or were they already there? Isn't all their
right,
family members already part of that? Yeah. So were they self-made and did they pull themselves up from? No.
right,
But
right.
it's a really nice story that keeps us all grinding away.
Well, it's like there's a falsity like in what do they go the founders garage, you know? Like there's
Uh-huh.
this, there's that story is told over and over and over, and most times it's not true.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
yeah,
It's not.
probably not.
However, that being said, I feel like now's the best time. I mean, tongue in cheek, like talking out of both sides of
I
my mouth.
know. I
But at the same time, I'm like, if there ever was an opportunity for someone to be able to take advantage of all of the tools and maybe possibly do something. Now, I'm not here to tell anybody that if you bust your butt and you work really hard and you are extraordinarily lucky, you're going to become the richest person on the planet.
right.
That's not, you're never going to do that. However, you could live a really, really good life. How many people, if they made 5 million a year, couldn't change their life dramatically?
Yeah.
5 million, you're still poor in this country.
Which is funny because if you make $25,000 a year or more, you're in the top 1% of earners in the world, if you
Mhm.
look at all the other countries. But we have a perception here that because of probably, society and television, media, like, marketing, there's always something new, some new shiny object that, it's like, "Oh, well, I had the iPhone 16. Now that 17 came out, and oh man, it does this one thing like so much better, and I just really need it. I will be
Uh-huh.
so much happier if I could just get getting, like
Right.
I don't get me wrong, I upgraded from a 13 Pro to a 17 Pro about a month ago, and I was so excited about all the like new features, and there are definitely some quality of life improvements, but I have not used any of those like camera features that I thought I was going to. I was very excited to try those things out, just the how stable it was and how much it could zoom and all that stuff. And it has not been utilized at all. At the end of the day, it's
Uh-huh.
still just kind of a phone, you know.
Uh-huh.
So
Yeah. But that being said, and going back to circling back, I know we're just
yes.
about out of that 15-minute extra window we wanted to tack on. But knowing that if you go back to that social media thing where everybody needs to be on social media, and that's your new SEO like activator.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like I wrote down when we were talking, I wrote down potentially what my three pillars would be, and we'll have to touch on that to maybe even later to
Sure.
make sure. But the ones I wrote is behind the scenes or documenting
Okay.
the process,
Yep.
education, and entertainment. And so
Yeah.
if I can do one of those three things, I can turn the camera on and do it. Like I can walk and be education and talk about, hey, this is why, let's say my couples communication thing is so important. This is why. I can give you one quick education thing and do it while I'm walking to my
Right.
car,
Right.
in between, like whatever. Behind the scenes, me, I could just do it and just vent. It's
Yes.
so funny. I've heard so many people say, dude, when you vent, like it is so funny. Like you should be venting. And I would love to watch that.
Yes.
I don't know why. Maybe it's because I vent in six directions at once, but maybe that. And then entertainment, something that I find entertaining or something that someone else might find entertaining. I think I could do that and just say, you know what? If it's that easy, just turning on the camera, doing a live video or doing it, filming it in the moment, then just hitting upload. I'm sure there's other stuff. You've got to optimize the title and the. Okay,
Sure.
fine.
Sure. Not as much anymore because
No,
that is
because
social media,
really, you
but
make a video, and if you're making the same, I know, and you've told me this a million times. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel every single time you make a video, and stop trying to make a professional, really great video every time you make a video. Just record and put something out every single day. And I'm like, no, that doesn't, no. But really, yes, I don't what like when I find somebody, I'm like, oh, I'll go to their page and see how often they're posting. I'm like, oh, once every other week, me. All right, I might find you again later.
right.
I swear, if they're on there 2, 3 times a day, I'm like, oh, dude, every time I grab my phone, I can see something new from them because they're constantly in the feed. This is great.
Yeah.
And maybe they're not doing, typically speaking, no one that I watch ever does anything important, right? It's something I'm genuinely interested in.
Yeah.
And if they're making videos that are 15 minutes long, I'm not watching it, or 10 minutes long, I'm not watching it. Like I
Same.
don't have time for that. That's a different thing. That's YouTube, not social media.
Right.
I want a quick little something because I have 5 minutes in
Right.
between clients coming in or something. And I'm like, okay, let's just see what's out here, see what's going on in the world or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's about it. Like and the people I follow, if you say something I don't like, I've taught my algorithm, block, shut down, shut it off. Like I'm not
Right.
putting up with that. I
Right.
just want fun, entertaining, lighthearted stuff. Get rid of the news. Like
Yeah.
TikTok is not the news. Like Instagram
Right.
is not the news. Like
Well, it is for some people, but I understand.
it
Uh-huh.
shouldn't be.
Well, that's independent journalism. That's a whole new industry, that's
I
being created.
understand if they were actual journalists with integrity, but
But
just
see,
some jackass repeating something they've heard is not journalism.
I understand, but you know that the market is
That's opinionism. And
shifting.
so that's great. You want to spout your opinion? Go ahead. But stop treating your opinion like it's valuable.
Oh my gosh, but don't you know that's every person in the world now? Now that it's so accessible, you can just, talk to your phone and whatever and have a TikTok, like all of a sudden, or even it started on Facebook, right? But all of a
Mhm.
sudden, everyone's opinion matters. Like,
Mhm.
I think that's something
I think it's a sentence that isn't completed.
right.
Everyone's opinion matters to them,
Right. Exactly. But and
ought
so,
not a matter to anybody else.
well,
Yeah.
that's probably a good place to
Nice
end it.
enough rant at the end there.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why not?
I got a little
Um,
rant in. Hey, that was fun,
yeah.
Probably not as entertaining as your rants. But,
Yeah, I'll have to try. I'll have to see. I'll have to start posting some stuff, see what happens.
well, you're so
Um,
animated when you do get worked up. It is entertaining to watch. So,
well, and the other problem is like I get that way in response. Like I can't just get that way by myself.
I am
Like
with you. I it takes me to be, like, excited about something or aggravated about something. It's not something I really can just flip the switch on. So, I
no.
understand.
Yeah.
If you need a little jar, I can just hit me up right before you start something, and I'll just say something that
Just go,
ticks you off, and
just poke the bear and then
poke
let
the
it.
bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds good. Okay, cool.
Oh man. Well, cool. Well, this is a very interesting conversation today, but I think we covered a lot of good stuff. And yeah. So until next week, mind your business. Hey, thanks for listening to the Minding Your Business podcast. Your hosts are Aaron Jarrels and me, CJ Jolliff. If you want to find out more about us or when we're going live or follow us on socials, just go to our website, mybpodcast.com. And again, thank you so much for listening.